In this video on views within Microsoft Dynamics for Sales, we're just going to go into a bit more detail on the advanced filters function. Now, in the first video in the series, we did an overview of all the views functionality, and then we said we would delve into more detail in some aspects of it. And advanced filters is one of the key aspects of views. So we're going to do a dive into that today. I said this is a series, and you can see links to all the videos in the series below. And also, if you've got any content suggestions or you need any help with Microsoft Dynamics, you can see that in the links below. Now, in terms of what we mean by advanced filters, it's this area here. Now, I'm looking in the contacts area, and you'll see advanced filters in any of the different Microsoft Dynamics record types. Now, we said in the first video, in the introductory video, that we've got a number of ways of searching the system. I could search by keyword within a view, or if I wanted to, I could actually filter within the views itself, and I can do that on more than one column. But if I want to do really powerful searching, then this area here, edit filters, is where we want to go. Now, if I just click on that, I just want to illustrate one thing. When I do that, I get this kind of blank canvas, and I can start to build out a query on the system. Now, if I started from a different area, I started from all contacts, and all contacts by definition means there's no filters on it. But if I started with something like active contacts, and I click edit filters, you'll see it comes back with an existing filter, in this case status equals active. If I want to get back to my blank canvas, I'll just delete all filters and we go back to the blank canvas. It's not going to delete them permanently, but just for the purposes of my query, it allows me to operate as if there's no existing query criteria. So it's just something to be aware of. Now, within this query, I can build out some very powerful queries. I can do that based on multiple combinations of multiple fields, both on the record that I'm starting from, in this case contact, but also on related records, both child and parent records. So I'll show some of that in a minute, but let's show what I mean by building a query. So let's say we wanted to identify contacts that are in Seattle that are active and have got an email address. Now, I'm working from standard Microsoft Dynamics data, so it's a limited data set, hence what might seem a slightly strange query. But to do that, what I do is click on the add here, and it says I've got some options, and I'll go into these in a bit, but we can add a row. Add a row means add a field. What field am I interested in? So I wanted contacts in Seattle, so for that I'm going to select address one city. Then I've got an operator, and I've got a range that I can choose from, but I'm happy with equals, and then I'm going to type in Seattle. So that's my first field that I'm going to include. The second field we said is that we wanted ones with the status of active. We can add a row, and I can jump to it just by pressing S. That jumps me to the S's, and status equals, in this case it's a pick list, so I've got the option of active or inactive, so I'm going to select active, and then we said email address, so add a row, jump to email, and we won't say equals, in this case we will say contains data, so they've got an email address of some description. If I now apply that, that's going to filter this down. So those are just my contacts in Seattle that are active with an email address. Now, that's a fairly basic query, but it is involving 3 separate fields. So it's a lot more powerful than if I was just trying to do a keyword search, for example. But I can extend that out if I wanted to. So let's say I actually wanted to invite people from Seattle or Redmond, for example. Again, with my limited Microsoft Dynamics data set, let's go back to edit filters. And logically speaking, I might say, right, I'm going to add another row, and we'll call that address one city. In this case, it equals Redmond. and I'm going to apply that, and no data comes back at all, which I was expecting, because just to prove some of the capabilities here, there's a flaw in my logic. So if we go back to this, I'm effectively saying people have got address 1 city of Seattle and address 1 city of Redmond. You know, they're mutually exclusive. I can't have address 1 city of both, hence it's bringing back no data. So in this case, we've got the ability to group data together into all criteria, and what I can do is at the end of either of these two rows, I can group them together. If I tick them first, I can group them together, make them a group. And the other thing I need to do there, because by definition it assumes they're going to be ands as well, so we want that to be an all criteria, and we just change that to all. So effectively we got, they can be in Seattle or Redmond, but they must be active and they must have an email address. When I apply that, you'll see that brings back the query that I want. Now, if I go back to edit filters, what I can do, and I'm just going to get rid of this altogether because I've kind of grouped that back together retrospectively. I'll just delete all of that. I could have added it from the beginning by adding it as a group to begin with. So address equals Seattle, and then we'll add another row, address 1 city equals Redmond, and then remember to change that to an all, so that gets us back to the same place before, and those are the 7 records that we were expecting. So I'll just run you through there how we can create a advanced filter based on and searches as well as all searches. The other thing we can do that is really powerful is extend our search, so it's also searching on data on related records. So let's say, for example, I only wanted to bring back accounts of a certain size. So in this particular example, what I can do is click on add, and then add from a related entity or a related record. And those can be client records, or those can be parent records. In this case, I'm going to choose, now I've got kind of just take you through the way this is structured. You've got many to one, you can just see that at the top there, and then I've got a whole list of those, and then it goes down to a list of 1 to many and then many to many. So they group together in 3 groups. Many to one is effectively the parent record, 1 to many is the child record, and many to many is both parent and child. So what I'm going to do is go back to company name accounts, the parent record. So it's the parent organization record. So let's say we're operating in a business to business situation. I might be able to extend my query to that and say, look, I want, let's say, annual revenue. So we want accounts with an annual revenue greater than, let's say, 10,000. I can apply that. So what we've done here is we've got queries based on numerous different fields. Some of them are on the contact record, some of them on a related record, and we're also bringing in all criteria as well. We can build some very powerful queries using this. And if I now apply that, that then cuts back my data set. Now, I won't go into editing columns. We'll do a separate video on that. But then I can change the columns that are brought back, displaying columns that are based on both the contact area, which I'm in at the moment. What we've said here applies to all the different record types, but I can do that, have other columns displayed from a contact record, but also related parent records as well. So the last thing I could do, if I wanted to keep this view, keep that query I've just written, I could save that as a new view. I'm not going to do that for the sake of brevity, but hopefully that gives you a picture of some of the power that advanced filters have if you're looking to sort of do quite involved queries on the data in your system. I say this is one in a series we're doing on data views within Microsoft Dynamics for Sales. You can see links to others in the series below. Also, if you've got any content suggestions or you need any help with Microsoft Dynamics, then you can see links for that below as well. And lastly, thank you very much for your time today. Hopefully see you again soon.